Hello, my name is Chris with Telin Systems, and today I'm going to be giving you a complete walkthrough on the 3CX conferencing solution. Let's get started. Starting off in our 3CX web client, we're going to be navigating to the Meet tab. From here, we can either press Join Now to create an ad hoc style conference, or we can schedule a conference using the plus icon at the top left. Additionally, we can press the Scheduled Conferences button next to this to view our already scheduled conferences. We're going to be creating an ad hoc conference this time around. Before pressing Join Now, we can use the mic and video icons here to toggle on and off our audio and video output, and by selecting the settings icon here, we can configure which audio and video devices we wish to use for this conference. We can now press Join Now. At this point, we have created and joined our ad hoc style conference. We will be doing an overview of web meeting features later in this video. For now, we will be looking at scheduling a conference. At this point, we're going to navigate back to the Meet tab and select the plus icon here. From here, you'll notice we'll be able to choose between an audio, video, and webinar style meeting, where you'll have additional configuration options for the video and webinar styles by pressing the cog icon here. The first option will toggle whether meeting participants can join before the meeting organizer. Keep in mind, if this option is selected, the meeting organizer needs to join through the Scheduled Meetings tab of the web client and not through the web meeting URL. Down from there, we have the co-host option, which gives all joining participants full meeting control rights. Next, we can choose to hide all participant screen names during this meeting. And lastly, we can choose whether meeting participants can enable their audio and video devices, as well as whether they have access to the chat function. For this walkthrough, we will be creating a video-style conference. Starting from the top, we can choose to either schedule this meeting for now or later. Here, we can select the date, time, and estimated duration for this meeting. Next, we can attach a subject header as well as any additional notes we would like to include in our invitation. Lastly, we can select which email service to use for creating this meeting invitation. We can choose between Gmail, Microsoft 365, Outlook Online, the Outlook desktop application, or we can use the 3CX email service. Here, we're going to be using Google. We can now press Create Meeting. Here in the Guest tab, we can select who we wish to send this meeting invitation to. At this point, I've added in my guest, and I can now save and send the meeting invitation. Viewing this calendar invitation, we'll see our guests have multiple joining options, including a click to join or an audio-only dial to join. As we are the meeting host, we will be navigating back to our 3CX web client and again to the Meet tab. Now up to the Scheduled Conferences tab, where we can then select our conference and press Join. Now that we've joined, you're going to notice several icons at the top right of your screen. Moving from left, we can toggle on and off our audio and video output. Next is a Present tab, which provides the host with a number of presenting features, such as an interactive whiteboard that's visible to all meeting participants. This allows text input and freehand drawing. Here, we can upload and then share a PDF with the same interactivity as the whiteboard. And next to that, we have a screen share function that allows us to share our entire screen with or without full system audio, or specific windows or specific tabs with or without tab audio. Next, we can choose to share camera output for any webcams attached to our computer. And finally, we have a polling feature which allows us to create and present one or more multiple choice questions that our meeting participants can then vote on. This is particularly useful in webinar style meetings. Moving on from the Present tab, here we have the Chat tab, which allows group messaging between meeting participants. A Q&A feature which allows participants to propose questions to the group. As a presenter, we will be able to disable chat function for all of their meeting participants. And finally, we can mute chat notifications for ourselves. Next to that, we have a bump function. And here we have the Participants tab, which shows all current meeting participants, with additional functionality for the hosts, such as disabling the audience's audio and video output, locking the web meeting so no one further can join, switching to tile or full screen view. Additionally, as host, you can select individual meeting participants to spotlight their camera view, toggle their camera and audio output, as well as changing their individual meeting rights between participant, with only basic meeting rights, Presenter, which gives access to the Present tab and functionality, or Co-host, which gives full meeting rights including adding and removing other meeting participants. You can also request remote access to a participant's computer, and finally you can choose to remove each person from the meeting entirely. Moving to the Add Participants tab, here we have several invitation methods including copying the full web meeting info, copying just the web meeting link, a direct to email link, a direct to WhatsApp link, and finally a QR code for joining from mobile. Next we have the Recording tab where the host can choose to record the current conference in either 480p, 720p, or 1080p. After the meeting is ended, a link to this recording will be emailed to the organizer. Pressing the cog icon brings us into the Options tab where we can configure which audio and video devices to use. As a host, we can also change the overall meeting quality here. Next, we can choose to enable full HD resolution, only available when the meeting quality is set to quality, an audio gain control function, an echo cancellation feature, and a noise suppression feature. Finally, at the bottom, we can refresh our device list. Selecting the Statistics tab will give us a full overview of all meeting statistics including video uplink, audio bitrate, and more. Moving on from there, we have a Help button that links directly to the 3CX video conferencing overview. And finally, we have the Privacy button, which links directly to the 3CX web meeting privacy policy. Pressing the Hang Up icon as a host allows us to either remove just ourselves from the meeting, or end the meeting entirely for all participants. And last but not least, we can press the 3CX icon here to hide or display the options bar. And that concludes this walkthrough. I hope you found it helpful, and if you have any questions, please reach out to us at www.telin.com.